Strike Freedom Gundam. Hey, what's up everybody? Robert184 with special guest Foz Gundam here today.
Hello ladies and gents.
And it's time to, you've seen the D-Box, you've seen the inner frame, which was pretty great, but now it's time to take a look at all of these parts, and there are so many before this epic monster finally gets put all together. In terms of the number of parts, it's of course similar to the inner frame because everything, including these guns, has an inner frame in it. But anyway, you're going to have the feet, the legs, the waist, the chest, the arms. I've got the shoulders attached and separate here. You're going to have the wings, the backpack, double beam rifles, and of course, these flying blue dragoons. Starting at the bottom, working our way up, remember, not all of this gold will be gold unless you add some of your own paint. Only one bending point, but what a mechanism here. As you can bring this down, you'll notice that this foot guard is going to pop up and down, expose a little bit of gold inner frame. So if you have him aerial and toes pointed down, it's going to look great.
And I was impressed with the 3-point bend of the Master Grade Exia's foot.
So now this one, is it an improvement?
That is quite an improvement.
So with the legs here, again, you've got the gold inner frame showing in all sorts of places, including on the thighs. These are purposely split here, so you're going to get that little bling effect. But it's the bend where it really brings out the awesomeness of the perfect grade.
I swear to God, I had a gundasm when I saw this leg. If any of you had seen my old Exia leg build video or my Infinite Justice video, basically since those builds, I have been in love with the bendable thigh, or rather the splitting thigh. And there have been a few Master Grades since those that haven't had it.
The waist skirt is just very simple and some big parts that you wonder if they could have gone for some smaller ones, but again, a little bit of lining, very clean, will just give this a very nice effect. Of course, nothing as silly as putting seals on there like the SD. But here, although it's something that's not intuitive, the inside of this part is the thing that I think needs the gold paint the most, because you will see these gold parts from the front, especially if you've got them popped down, because you're going to bring the railguns to the back as you put the beam rifles onto the side. In terms of the chest, it's very plain. You're going to get the second quality of gold from Bandai here, and here. This is also painted by Bandai. These parts here are just added by me, and for the shoulders, they're going to be able to move up like this, and this displaces the armor up there, but it does it in a visually appealing way. That much movement forward and back. Solid looking mount mechanism, I hope that stays together. The bend mechanism here is good going forward and back. Not too many problems with the piping popping out, and it's sort of cool that they're visible. And Foz, what did you like about this?
Well, the cockpit has the same sort of sliding mechanism as the Master Grades, but it's a little bit different in that if you look carefully inside, the pilot seat actually comes forward and back as you pull it in and out. And there he is.
The shoulders have a cool gimmick, although it's a little bit disappointing that there is this split that seems to be built in here. I don't know if you're able to get this to close up any better than that. If you do paint the inner frame though, that'll at least show a little bit of bling, so even if it is exposed, it's okay. You've got the second best gold here, blue parts from Bandai, but it's the gimmick, of course, here. If you pop this part open, you'll notice that you're going to expose these parts. Now here is where I want to complain. You'll notice that there's two kinds of gold there. If you don't paint the lower one, you're going to get some nice bling up there, but this whole part up here is gold. But the lower part is not, and that's also exposed, so Bandai could have done something a little bit better there. But the big bonus for me is that red part pops up there, although it does expose a few scratches when you're cutting it off the sprues. Onto the arms, and this is something with a little bit of paint you can really make it pop out here, because the elbows are going to be very visible, as you've already seen with the SD Gundam. As well, this part unpainted in its natural state. In terms of movement, you're able to rotate this around because this is on a pivot mechanism, so it's not going to get in the way at all. And the arm, if you take a look here at the split, it bends up 90, and then it's going to go up like this, about 45 more, and this armor can come a little bit loose, so you're going to want to be careful, but it shows off, again, the gold on the inside. The manipulators are again made out of the second best plastic from Bandai, and what I really liked about this is that the manipulator covers here are actually two separate parts, so you're able to bend the whole hands, and the armor is going to split nicely. In terms of forearms, you're going to have the beam generators here, and if you take a look at this thing really comes out and it feels really solid. I've seen a lot of kits like this where they don't work very well. Pop that in and out, and once you put the shield on, that's going to look pretty sharp. For the backpack attachment mechanism, this is something that is painted by me all over the place. So all of these parts would not be gold otherwise right out of the box. Bandai does include this part chromed. These parts here are going to move up and down, and these parts are on a ball joint, so they're going to rotate ever so slightly, but more importantly is how well do the wings attach in. And finally, like any kit, you're going to have the head has to be the focal point, and the Perfect Grade, I think, does a very good job of pulling it off. So in terms of putting everything together, the things that I liked, you've got clear eyes with a black mask that just covers everything up, so you're not going to have to do any lining or painting on your own. As well, this black part here is not lined. There are slits here in the white mouthguard that just cover it up and expose the black underneath. Solid red from top and bottom, and the gray part fits in there. You can see the gold here to the sides, and very tiny little black Vulcans that you add on there. In terms of the V-fin, solid all the way across for the white part. The yellow part looks great, and the red part has the Strike Freedom writing on it. Small glass panels at the top for the cameras and on the back, and they put in the bonus of putting in that gold bling. So the big bonus and why Perfect Grades are perfect is if you take a look inside, look at this light piping that you've got built into it into the front and the back. Should mention that when you take off the helmet, it's a little bit hard. It says that this gold part should stay attached to the white part, and it doesn't, so maybe some glue will fix that up. But for those of you that have built Master Grade XA Ignition Mode or the 00 Quanta, you probably know that these lights do not work always all the time. And this one, no problems from the first moment that I got it. So when you pick this up and you put it into the head, and with the lights out, you really get the effect of just how powerful that light is. And the light piping, you don't get too much out of the back cameras, but on the front, you're going to get them clearly out of the top and bottom, and those eyes look menacing.
Especially with the lights on, the head of Strike Freedom is one of the best heads that I've seen, also in terms of proportion, because there's some models that you'll see that while in the anime or in mangas they are fine, when you get the model, yeah, the head is actually a bit out of proportion, like the forehead to the mouth and so on, but this Strike Freedom is very well done.
So we'll wrap up this part here before moving on to take a look at the weapons, but Foz, what was your favorite part so far?
For sure, I'd say my favorite part would have to be the legs. These are by far, with my limited experience, the best knees I have ever seen. And always it has the split thigh, so I'm a happy camper.
And in terms for me, my biggest, this is probably more of a knock, is the more effort that you put into painting those little bits of gold. Of course, when you put it together, some of them are going to get covered up in the joint, so it's not a big issue. But if you're showing it on display like this, although who would really do that, the more effort you put into covering the gold parts, the ugly gold up, the more I think it'll pay off. So now we'll move on to see how the gimmicks work. Thanks for watching, everybody. Robert184, gundam.tk. See you next part.
Oh, Strike Freedom had his brains eaten.
Siler.